Have you ever had one of those experiences, something so wild or meaningful that you think, man, this would make a great story, but then you just don't know where to start? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the blueprint for turning your personal memories into powerful stories that really, truly connect with people.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? We've all got a lifetime of stories tucked away. But the real magic isn't just having the story, it's in the telling. So how do you take something that happened to you and make someone else feel like they were right there?
I want you to think about it like this. Your story is a bridge. It connects your personal experience on one side to your reader's understanding and emotion on the other. And our goal today? It's to give you the step-by-step instructions to build that bridge, so your story isn't just read, but actually felt.
All right, let's get into it. Section 1, finding your story's heart. This is the foundation, right? It's all about picking the right memory and then digging a little deeper to figure out what it all means.
You know, the best stories, they often don't come from these huge, life-shattering events. Sometimes they come from the smaller moments. So just start brainstorming. Don't judge, just write. Think about your firsts, your first job, your first love, or your lasts, the last time you saw a childhood friend. Think about a time you failed, or a moment that changed everything. Just let the ideas flow.
Okay, so once you have a few potential stories, this right here is the absolute most important question you can ask yourself. Why does this story matter? Because the answer to that question is what takes you from just listing what happened to understanding why it was so significant. This is how you find your theme.
The whole idea is to look past the surface-level event. So a story about losing a pet, it's not really just about being sad. It might be about learning about life's impermanence for the first time. Or a story about a car accident. Yeah, it was scary, but maybe the deeper theme is about learning the true weight of responsibility. That theme, that becomes the guiding star for your entire essay.
Great! You've got your story, you've found your theme. Now we need to give it a solid structure. Think of this as building the skeleton that's going to hold the whole thing together. And for that, we turn to the classic narrative arc. It's got 5 stages that give every great story its rhythm. First, you have the exposition, where you set the scene. Then the rising action builds up that tension, leading to the climax. That's the big turning point. After that, the falling action deals with the immediate aftermath, and it all leads to the resolution. And that's where you reflect on what you learned, which ties everything right back to that theme we talked about.
So we have our structure. Let's move on to section 3, making your story vivid. This is where we get into the techniques that take your essay from a simple report of what happened to an actual, memorable experience for your reader.
Okay, let's talk about the first sentence. Your introduction, your hook, it is everything. It's your one shot to grab the reader and say, hey, stick with me. Let's look at 3 really powerful ways to pull them in.
First up, start with action. You can drop the reader right into the middle of the most exciting part. This creates instant suspense. They have no choice but to keep reading because they have to find out what's going on.
Or you could try a contradiction. A statement like this just short-circuits the brain for a second. It breaks expectations, it makes people curious, they'll think, wait, what? How does that work? And they'll keep reading to find out.
And a third amazing technique is to use sensory details. When you engage the senses, smell, sound, sight, you're not just telling a story, you're building a world. You're putting the reader right there in the room with you. All of this really leads us to the heart of vivid writing, and it's probably the most famous piece of writing advice in the world: show, don't tell. There's a reason everyone says it, because it's the absolute key to making your reader feel something. Just look at the difference here. I was nervous is, well, it's just information. But describing sweaty palms and a hammering heart, now the reader can actually feel that nervousness. Saying that room was messy is forgettable. But showing them piled up textbooks and crumpled paper, that creates a powerful image. Showing is what breathes life into your story. Okay, so you've hooked your reader, you've shown them your world, but how do you stick the landing? Section 4 is all about crafting a powerful ending and then polishing your essay till it shines. Look, a great conclusion is so much more than just a summary. It's your chance to reflect. You can bring back an image from your opening to make it feel complete. You can explain how this lesson still affects your life today. And most importantly, you want to show the reader how you've grown. How are you different now because of this experience?
Let's go back to that car crash example. The story isn't really about a totaled car, right? The real ending, the real meaning, comes from reflecting on that deeper theme, that true freedom comes hand in hand with responsibility. That's what gives the story its weight.
And please, please remember, your first draft is just the beginning. The real magic happens during revision. Here's a pro tip. Read your essay out loud. You'll immediately hear where it sounds awkward. And ask yourself, is my theme clear? Have I shown instead of told? Polishing your work is what separates a good story from a great one.
Okay, let's bring all these pieces together. We've talked about theme, structure, and technique. But now we need to talk about the single most important element of them all.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this. After all the rules and all the techniques, what truly connects with a reader is authenticity. It's your personality, your unique way of seeing the world. It's your voice. Don't try to sound like some fancy writer. Let your essay sound like you.
So there you have it, the complete blueprint. From finding your theme, to building your structure, to making your story vivid and real. Your experiences have shaped you, and they have value. So the only question left is, what story are you going to tell? Now go build that bridge.